Good morning and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11. You can find me on Twitter at Razzle11Grinds. You can take a look at some pitching for today, the 19th of July. Wednesday split slate, 5 games on the day slate, and we have 8 games on the main slate this evening. I'll take a quick look at the day slate and then we'll get into the main slate. First off, weather-wise, nothing of real concern. Very slight delay risk in a few ballparks. Nothing really windy. Wind is blowing out in Wrigley, but just at 6 miles an hour. So it shouldn't be too many weather spots that affect some play. It is in the 90s in St. Louis. It's almost 90 in Colorado and Kansas City as well. So, all right, let's take a look here at pitching. Julio Urias, right at the top, definitely going to be in play for me. Hasn't been great on the road. Has been actually atrocious on the road, but has looked really strong in his last 2 starts after a lengthy IL stint. I like left-handed pitchers in Baltimore. I don't necessarily love left-handed pitchers against Baltimore, but I love that. I guess the last time I looked, Camden is the worst park for right-handed home runs. So I am liking that. Right-handed pull home runs, I should say. I'm not sure about overall, but Rios certainly an option for me. He's a minus 145 favorite. The game does have a total of 9.5, however, so a little elevated total for the Orioles, but I like the way that Urias has been throwing the baseball the last couple of starts. And it's not like we have a ton of pitching options on a 5 game slate either, so we have to kind of widen our requirements a bit. So, uh, Brian Bale has been just great, steady in both. Walks are way down on the road, but his strikeouts are down too. But uh, he's just not a huge K guy, anyways. But been throwing the ball really, really well. Hasn't allowed more than 3 earned runs since the middle of April. So, to give you an idea, it's a minus 235 favorite in this one. Going to be popular picking on everybody's favorite punching bag in the A's. And John Gray hasn't been as great at home. Some rough starts recently. Ks are down, walks are up, hits are up. Probably not going to be somebody I'm very interested in. Kind of have to wait and see how our pitching pool shakes out. He has actually an underdog. Tampa Bay is minus 115 favorite in this game. So I think I'm going to skip over Gray. I'm probably going to use a little bit of Alcantara over Gray. Not that I love it. He hasn't been as strong on the road. Pretty rough season so far. He's looked better of late. Home run's still an issue, but I'm interested. The big price jump, though, is a little annoying considering he hasn't really done a whole lot. But I think I would prefer to use Alcantara over Gray. St. Louis is a minus 125 favorite in this game. Not really interested in Dean Kramer. Maybe I should be. He's been throwing the ball great. Not trying to pick on the Dodgers offense all that much. Kind of look at the Dodgers numbers in this series just to get an idea, but I would think right now Dean Kramer's going to be on the outside looking in for me on this day slate. Not really interested in anything else, to be honest. Not really sure how long Dakota Hudson's going to go. His last outing was 50 pitches, but that was also on the 15th. So maybe he's another 50 pitches, 3 to 4 innings. I don't know. So because of that, we really can't go there. Sorry about that. Belak maybe shut down this Colorado squad at home. Pitching, of course, so that's a little worrisome. But uh, you know, this is a year where I don't mind taking pitchers against Colorado in Colorado at this point. So uh, maybe Belak becomes viable. Minus 160 favorite in that game. Uh, there's a quick look at the day slate. Not a whole lot to love. Let's take a look at the main. Right away at the top, Eduardo Rodriguez, a minus 155 favorite on the road against Kansas City. Uh, racked up the strikeouts against Kansas City earlier. Did allow some runs and hits, but that is all right. Two starts since returning from the IL. One bad one against Oakland, one solid one against Seattle. Both saw him strike out seven, so the K numbers are there. Should be in the 90s in terms of pitch total. Going to be one of the better options, one of the more popular options on this slate. Luis Castillo. Seattle pitching hasn't been great against Minnesota. He is a minus 165 favorite. He has been far better when at home. K numbers are way up. It's good to see because Minnesota strikes out a ton. Coming off of a rough start against Detroit, but prior to that, shut down Houston. Um, hasn't had a big strikeout game in nearly a month and a half. Could happen today. Uh, I'm not going to let the last 2 days of Minnesota's offense sway me enough. Castillo's probably, 1B to Eduardo Rodriguez 1A, I guess, on the slate for me. They're going to be very similar. Not really interested in Charlie Morton. He is a minus 220 favorite, but uh, double digit game total. Um, he has been great the last three starts, so it's really worrisome. Maybe I do have to consider him. He did shut down Arizona enough, I guess, quality start wise, but a lot of Ks earlier. Man, after watching what Arizona's offense did to Bryce Elder yesterday, that's not something I feel very great about. But maybe we do have to consider him based on history and recent trends. Verlander, minus 220, home favorite. Has been much better when pitching at home in New York. Hasn't been spectacular the last couple starts. Walks have been a huge issue. Not a big K guy anymore. It's kind of fell off the cliff. Obviously, the last two starts have been difficult opponents. The Dodgers at the Padres. So you give him a little bit of a pass there. Prior to that, absolutely dominated San Francisco. So I think he's in for a great start. So he's kind of a reason why Morton was just kind of an insta fade in my mind before kind of looking at numbers. Um, and as I dig into more in-depth numbers throughout the day, maybe Morton moves one way or the other. But we do know for sure that Erod, Castillo, and Verlander are going to be my top three on this slate. Carlos Rodon, there is there's plenty of K upside in this matchup against the Angels. Um, I'm just not sure if I'm going to go there. He hasn't looked sharp yet. Did get up to 88 pitches, so we probably see him in the 90s for pitch total. He is one that has the ability within him to just put up a monster performance and be the highest scorer on the slate. But I almost feel like I want to see it before I start getting on board. But maybe Rodon is the key to being a GPP winner this evening. Brios dominant at home. Looked great the last couple starts. I don't know if I'm going to go there against San Diego's offense right now. No thanks on Darvish, coming off of a great start, but generally his road numbers have been pretty atrocious. Uh, I didn't really use Musgrove against Toronto yesterday. I think he's a much better pitcher than Darvish, so I have no interest in Darvish against Toronto. Kent, kind of going back to that last game, Toronto is a minus 120 favorite, so um, if you use that for making your decisions. Maeda, not the best start against Oakland. Seattle, difficult opponent in general. Seattle offense isn't going nuts by any means right now. They do strike out a ton, so there's some K upside with Maeda. Uh, I'm interested. Low game total. It's been the same way all week. That the pitchers in that game are really solid plays. Kyle Hendricks, just not sure I want to go to Hendricks. Washington is pesky enough. Hendricks just doesn't really have a ton of upside overall. Kind of going down the list, there isn't really a lot to love. Silseth, um, being called up. I mean, the Yankees lineup has been ice cold. I know we used Silseth a little bit last year in his debut uh, season. He's not super exciting by any means. The Yankees are minus 140 favorite. Game total is just 8, so maybe there's a route to it. I just don't think I can go there. Not really interested in much down here. Toussaint was, over the last couple, have been really solid. Walks were bad last one. After what I just saw the Mets do to Giolito, I do have some worries here. But I also think that you could get away with Toussaint if you really wanted to. I don't think he's making my pool in that game. Not really interested in much down here. Ashcraft has been phenomenal over his last 3 starts, but his Ks still haven't been there the last 2. Yeah, this game total I think is 10.5. I'm gonna have to pass on it for Ashcraft, but he's somebody at some point we're gonna use again. I do believe. Ryan Yarbrough returned from the IL and looked solid. Not a guy that I really love the idea of using, but the matchup is solid. Against Detroit. People have been on the Detroit bets the last 2 days and they've let them down. I think Yarbrough could be just a sneaky dart throw, more like a 10 to 12% play. Where we're mostly spending up here on the slate. So there we have it. There's kind of my first look into my pitching pool. I will tighten it throughout the day, and I will let the members of DFS Army know. If you want to join us, you can use promo code RAZ. It's RAZ for 10% off your monthly membership. I'll put links in the description below. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos at DFS Army. And as always, best of luck, everybody.